It's time for our co-feature of the evening. We go to the female lightweight division. Former world champion Jamie Clampitt taking on former world title challenger Dominga Olivio. Without further ado, we send it inside the ring to Rick Provost.
Good evening. The referee is Johnny Callis. Let's introduce the participants. Fighting out of the red corner. Fighting out of the blue corner. Weighing in at 132 1/2 pounds with a professional record of 8 wins, 8 losses, and 1 draw. Coming to us out of Brooklyn, New York, please welcome Dominga Olivo. And fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 133 pounds with a professional record of 21 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. She's a 4-time world champion, hailing from Warwick, Rhode Island. Please welcome our own Jamie Clampitt!
Six rounds, female lightweights. Jamie Clampitt taking on Dominga Olivio. Jamie Clampitt, a longtime staple of the New England boxing scene, a former world champion, has not fought in over 3 years since losing via a first-round TKO to Holly Holm, who at the time was considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the planet as far as female fighters are concerned. Dominga Olivio enters with a record of 8-1. She's fought for world titles, fought to a draw in a major world title fight, never won the big one. Can she get a win over Jamie Clampitt tonight in her own backyard in a fight in which Clampitt says will be here last?
I mean, and Olivio's record is very deceptive. You look at who she's fought, where she's fought those fights. It could definitely be a sway and get a couple extra wins on there, because the draw was against Jelena Marinovic in Canada, and I know getting a draw in Canada against her, it probably was going the other way.
And that was a world title fight, if I'm not mistaken.
It was WBC World Championship.
Olivio is wearing the red, white, and blue trunks. Clampitt wearing the black trunks. Round 1 of a scheduled 6-rounder. Female boxing has always been seemingly more abundant in the New England and particularly the Rhode Island region than it has been in other parts of the country. You have fighters like Jamie Clampitt, who's in the ring right now, Missy the Fury Fiorentino, who we have not seen fight in a few years, but she was a lot of fun to watch during her heyday. And currently you have competitors like Shalito Vincent, undefeated from Connecticut, and fights very often at the Rhode Island casinos here, Twin River, and places like Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun.
I think what it is, actually, female boxing is big all around the country. However, it's only in those areas. Like in this area, you'll know about the female fighters from this area. But if you go to California, they have their own little group of female fighters that they know. It's more of a regionalized thing, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that national television doesn't really put female boxing on. And for a while, it was catching some steam. In fact, Jamie Clampitt fought on ESPN in a co-feature. She fought in main events here. For a while, it was catching a little bit of steam, but I think that has fallen off a little bit. Now it's more of a regionalized, for the fans and that kind of thing, and that's not a testament to their skill or their work ethic. It's just a matter of that's just the game right now.
Round 1 coming to a conclusion between Clampitt and Olivio, and the crowd here at the Twin Rivers certainly enjoying the action. They have seen thus far. You mentioned Jamie Clampett fought on an ESPN co-feature. I recall that fight, and I don't think ESPN has televised a female bout since then outside of swing bouts, which made their way on TV due to circumstance.
Yeah, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that her first fight with the girl Jane Couch, it was Ring Magazine Fight of the Year. So the second time around, I think ESPN saw that and they wanted to present that to their television audience. In that first round, even having had a layoff and everything, I didn't see that much ring rust out of Jamie Clampett. I thought she fought a pretty good round that round. You could see the difference. Olivo fought most of her fights at 126 and 130. Jamie fought most of her career at 135, 140, and she used that size advantage here. And I thought she did a good job that first round. In fact, I thought she won it.
And as we saw on the tail of the tape, a lightweight 135-pound weight limit for this bout. Both girls came in well under the weight limit. They're certainly in shape and ready to go for this fight.
Definitely, especially in the 6th round. You got to remember, females fight 2 minutes, so it's 6 2-minute rounds. I'm sure either of them could go 10 rounds tonight without an issue.
Round 2 of the scheduled 6-rounder between Jamie the Hurricane Clampett and Dominga Olivio. Jamie Clampett had a win over Mia St. John in 2007.
And again, that was one of the few times you saw in New England that was the main event of that show.
Mia St. John became famous for essentially being on almost every Oscar De La Hoya pay-per-view undercard for a period of time during his days with Top Rank in the late 90s. And she also appeared on the cover of Playboy magazine.
Yeah, I think she was in Playboy actually twice, and Mia's claim to fame was, she was a 4-round fighter, but in those 4-round fights, oddly enough, Mia did gain a lot of experience, and in her later career, she had some really solid wins in there. After losing to Jamie, she went on to defeat Christy Martin, I believe, and that was a big victory. Christy Martin also was, at that time, the staple on Don King's pay-per-view shows.
So one fought on Tyson undercards, the other fought on De La Hoya undercards.
Pretty much, that's how it went.
And you always had Butterbean thrown in the De La Hoya undercards as well.
You always had him in the mix. These two girls are going to war right now, fighting in a phone booth. I think that fight, while Jamie's still getting the better of it, is going to be more beneficial to Olivio. Big low blow right there by Olivio. At the beginning of the round, Jamie came with a really nice crisp jab, and it definitely snapped Olivio's head back. And again, she's just throwing a lot more punches. She's crisper and a little bit quicker.
So round 2 in the books between Jamie Clampett and Dominga Olivio. We're coming to you from the event center inside the Twin River Casino in Lincoln, Rhode Island. Still to come tonight, our main event. The pride of Providence, Peter Manfredo Jr. takes on Rich Gingras in a fight between 2 New England residents and 2 Rhode Island residents at that. You see Dominga Olivio on your screen hailing from Brooklyn, New York. Jamie Clampett from nearby Warwick, Rhode Island.
A lot of Jamie's basis of skills comes from her amateur career in Canada, and I think we spoke about it on the last show. Canadian amateur system started with female boxing a lot earlier than the American system, so you're going to see a lot more polished, skill-wise female fighters that come from Canada. Not that they don't have them in America, but there's just a lot more of them coming from the Canadian side.
How much impact did you think the addition of female boxing to the most recent Olympic Games will have on the popularity of female boxing moving forward?
I think it's going to help. I think it's going to help the game overall, but you just see at the beginning parts of it, you're going to see less girls turning pro, because at this point, that was basically, you have some amateur fights, then you turn professional. So the influx of new skilled professional females might slow down for a little while because they're going to want a shot at the Olympics, which I don't blame them.
And let's be honest, there was only 3 weight divisions in which girls could compete in at the most recent Olympics. That's going to change at the next Olympic Games, and as a result of that, you're going to have an influx of more competitors, and you're going to have less girls fighting way out of their weight division just because they want the chance to fight on the world stage at the Olympic Games.
Yep. And who knows, that could be the start of female boxing get a little more momentum in the States. In other countries in Europe, female boxing's huge. They fill up arenas with female main events.
The most recent female fighter I can think of that could legitimately fill an arena on her own was Anna Hulatin, a fighter of Filipino descent from the San Jose area, and she would fill up arenas in the San Jose and San Francisco area consistently a few years back.
There's a number of girls from California that could fight that were draws. Jessica Cozy is another one. She took some time off. She just came back recently. I don't know if her drawing power is the same or not, but she was very popular in those casinos out in the desert in California. Fought on a lot of Goose and Tudor promotions out there. I think generally considered right now the top pound for pound is Cecilia Breckhus. I don't know if I said that right, but she's
from Germany, correct?
Yeah, she's considered to be the pound for pound, one of the best right now. And she could have a chance if she was in America to be a little bit of a crossover, maybe get the mainstream people involved because she can really fight and she's good looking. And let's say the truth. That helps. You know what I mean? That definitely helps.
Round 3 comes to a conclusion. We're at the midway point of this fight between Jamie Clampett and Dominga Olivio through 3. Teddy, how do you have this fight scored?
I have it 3 rounds to nothing for Jamie Clampett. I think she's outworking her, outlanding her, and even though she's right inside, right in the pocket where Olivio could be effective, she's not being effective because Jamie's not letting her get punches off. And how do you have it scored?
I concur. 3 rounds to none for Jamie Clampett.
Not that I would have changed my card or anything. I was just wondering.
We've only had one disagreement tonight, and it was minor at that.
Yes, but I think you were the correct one on that, especially when we heard the judges' scorecards.
Round 4 about to begin between the Hurricane Jamie Clampett and Dominga Olivio. Now, it's odd that this is a topic that has come up on 2 consecutive broadcasts now. The Canadian female boxing system, years back, I believe Jimmy Birchfield's Entertainment and Sports signed a fighter out of Canada named Lil Tyson, Sandy Seguros.
Yes.
Never fought on a CES card in the States, I believe, due to circumstance with opponents and things of that nature. But Jimmy Birchfield saw the talent that was coming out of the Canadian female boxing system.
Well, she actually fought once right here in Twin River.
Okay.
I forgot who she fought, but it was an exciting fight, and she did fight one time. But yeah, again, I think he saw with what Jamie accomplished that the female fighting from the fighters from Canada definitely brought value.
And the other thing is, because there's not as many female boxers as there are male boxers, you can fight for a world title in a much shorter amount of fights.
Yeah, it's almost like the only thing you can equate that to in male boxing is like straw weights and those guys, 8, 9 fights and boom, you could be in there for a world championship. They butted heads a couple of times tonight. They just caught a butt that time too.
Referee Johnny Callis taking a look at both fighters' foreheads to see if there's any cuts.
I think Jamie's got a knot growing on her head and a hit over the eye of Olivio. I don't think it's anything intentional. I just think the styles. Olivio actually, she has her head in front of her knee when she moves forward, and that leaves it wide open for a headbutt.
Round 4 ends here at the Twin River Casino. 2 more rounds to go between Jamie Clampett and Dominga Olivio.
And one thing I know I've said it before, but I love looking out here right now and seeing a packed house. This is what every fight card in Rhode Island should look like, because there's some really solid fighters in New England area, and people need to start coming out more and supporting them. The more support they give, the bigger fights they can put on.
And a big one tonight for the New England scene in the main event as Peter Manfredo Jr. takes on Rich Gingras.
I'm going to let you say the Rich's name because I screw up the last name every time. You've got that down pat, so anytime we need to say that last name, that's all you.
I'll take that responsibility.
I could have swore it was Gingras.
And referee Johnny Callis makes note to Dominga Olivio that her opponent has a knot on her head because of a headbutt, I believe, is what he ruled it.
Well, at this point, I mean, I can't see that stopping the bout. If they did, they would go to the cards, and the end result is going to end up being the same, in my opinion. And Jamie's holding her right glove up really high, so it's hard to get a good look at the knot. Oh, but it's there. That's a very Evander Holyfield, Hasim Rahman-esque.
Not quite as grotesque, but
No.
I know what you're getting at.
Yes, yes. Well, these are females, so it's like on that level, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You got to dial it down a little bit.
For those not aware of what we're referring to, just Google Hasim Rahman, Evander Holyfield, and you will see what appears to be half of an actual egg coming out of Hasim Rahman's head.
I would suggest not doing it before eating. That's what I suggest. And you do, again, I mentioned earlier, but I haven't really seen a lot of ring rust from Jamie Clampett being off for so long. She looks pretty sharp in there for having such a layoff.
Having not fought in over 3 years, her last bout was a first-round TKO loss to Holly Holm, and it was a weird TKO loss because basically her shoulder popped out.
Yeah, I forgot what they had said it was, but again, you know, after such a storied career, I mean, arguably, I mean, actually, it's not even arguably, she will probably go down as probably the elite female boxer from New England. I don't think anyone's really going to be able to top what she accomplished in New England, and to go out like that, it just didn't seem right. So I'm glad she's here getting another fight. She says it's her last. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see about that.
I've heard that from a few fighters before.
Yeah, I think the females maybe stick to their guns a little bit more.
Round 5 in the books, one more to go as we see a look at the swelling atop Jamie Clampett's head, and Dave Keefe puts the end swell right to that.
A great corner she has, too, because Steve Mays and Dave Keefe are both very respected. Dave Keefe was an integral part in the career of Demetrius Boo Andre, who just won the WBO World Championships on HBO. That would be the first Rhode Island fighter to win one of the big championships since Vinny Pazienza did it.
And Steve Mays, who is the lead trainer in our corner tonight, also trains Peter Manfredo Jr., whom we will see in our main event. Also works with UFC lightweight contender Joe Lozon, who is immensely popular in combat sports circles for his work in mixed martial arts.
And Steve Mays imploring Jamie to use her speed, which she has a great speed advantage in this fight. Even though she's won every round, she's fighting this last round like she needs it for the victory right now. I'll tell you, Olivia's game. She caught her with a nice left hand right there. She's a game fighter. Olivio's having a little bit more success this round. The thing is with females, it's not, you know, when you go into a fight and you've lost every round, the odds of pulling off that dramatic one-punch knockout just aren't the same as it is in a male fight, you know, and it's not a whole heck of a lot can do about that. That's just the way it goes.
Olivia may have actually won this final round.
I think she might have pulled out. I thought she landed some big power shots. I thought she was a little more effective that last round, for sure. But again, she lost every other round previous, so.
The previous 5 rounds, while we had them for Clampett, there's some rounds that, while we had for Clampett, they weren't dominant. Possible maybe Olivia snuck out another round in the judges' scorecard here and there?
Maybe snuck one out, but I don't know. I thought Jamie won pretty handedly. I had it 5 rounds to 1, and I can't. I could see maybe one more round being there, but I can't see it. I can't see it being a draw or anything like that. That's for sure. But Olivia came to fight. She came to fight. That just shows you, though. You see Olivia's record. She's fought some great fighters. She's fought some world title fights, lost close decisions. They got draws in people's hometowns, so she knows you probably would have got those wins. And, you know, for Clampett to really outbox her so easily, that just shows you the skill level that she has.
A packed house here at the event center at the Twin River Casino in Lincoln, Rhode Island. Sold out. And most here to see our main event, which is still to come between Peter Manfredo Jr. and Rich Gingras.
I'm looking forward to that fight. It's a big difference in experience, but I'm pretty sure Gingras trained as if it was the World Championship fight, if he's fighting Andre Ward, you know what I mean? So it's going to be a very interesting matchup. I think it'll be a fun fight to watch.
And both fighters have fought on some unique stages, including both appearing on the Contender reality TV series. That fight still to come. However, right now we have the verdict in our co-feature between Jamie Clampett and Dominga Olivio. And for the official scorecards to be read, we'll send it inside the ropes to the official ring announcer for tonight's festivities, the very classy Rick Provost.
After 6 rounds of professional boxing, we go to the scorecards. Our first judge, Judge Scungio, scores the bout 59-55. Judge San Martino scores the bout 58-56. Judge Freeman scores the bout 58-56. And your winner by unanimous decision, Jamie Hurricane Clampett.
Jamie Hurricane Clampett with a 6-round unanimous decision win over Dominga Olivio, wins 5 rounds to 1 on one judge's scorecard, 4 rounds to 2 on the other 2 judges' scorecards. So Olivia was able to sneak out another round besides the final round.
Yeah, we did say that was possible. Again, I'm not exactly sure which round they did, but it definitely was maybe the first or second round was kind of close. But again, it was a solid win though, and there was never any doubt as to who got that victory.
If this is Jamie the Hurricane Clampett's final fight, she goes out on top with a unanimous decision win over Dominga Olivio, and her record stands at 21 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. 22 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, 7 of her wins coming by way of knockout.